Rightio, good evening everybody. Not many of you tonight, but there's a few. It'd be nice if some of you come up here. There's some stalls up here. Bring your stalls, bring your tables, don't care. Come up here and have a look. You can see them much better from up here. See their funny faces. As you can see, I'm talking plurals, faces. We've got two. First of all, we've got a young man who's just getting into the circuit. His name's Adam-Maloney, and he's standing here by us, so I'm not going to do much more than say, give a big cheer, a clap, and anything else for Adam-Maloney. Come on!
Thank you very much. You're very kind, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what, this guy gets dinner every time I see him. Seriously. I mean, I'll tell you, you better be careful though, because eventually you'll maybe end up like Christian Bale in The Machinist, you know. Not a good sign, anyway. Anyway, some of you may actually be familiar with some of the stuff that I do. If you read Kent Messenger, you'll know I'm the guy who goes out in Maidstone Town Centre with a megaphone and a free hug sign. So, yeah, that gets me harassed by the police quite a lot. Because essentially what I'm doing is I'm trying to encourage people to think critically about the system that we live in, try and, encourage, the acknowledgement that we're all the same as human beings. And we're all beautiful just as we are. We don't need money or materialistic shit to make us happy. Yeah, that's mainly why they harass me. He's making people think. Shut him up now. But yeah, essentially, I was arrested about September last year for my activism. That was an eye-opener. I mean, it was bullshit, really, because essentially they realised that I wasn't actually doing anything wrong. So essentially they had to make some shit up about me. Because they're like, going up to me every single time, like, asking me questions, can you give me your details, we need to search you. I'm just like, am I obliged to give you my details? Am I obliged to consent to a search? I don't consent to a search, go away. They don't like that. They're not used to activists. But yeah, essentially they just had to make up a lot of shit to put the cuffs on me. And I'll tell you what, the cell that they put me in was quite interesting. Has anyone been in a Maidstone police cell? Yeah? One person. Brave soul. You're a brave soul. I'll tell you what. Kent, right? There's a couple of interesting things about the police cell. First thing, just before I went in, they ordered me to take off my shoes. Why would they tell you to take your shoes off before going into the cell? Well, the excuse they give, there's a reason, but the excuse they give is so that you can't take your laces out and hang yourself in the cell. Now, for any of you, for those of you who've actually been in one of these cells, answer me this. How the fuck is that possible? There's nothing in the ceiling to hang yourself from. Seriously. I mean, and it, not only that, but I know the walls have a coarse paint finish, but how the fuck am I going to scale the walls to get up there? I'm not Spider-Man, for fuck's sake. Seriously. But yeah, I mean, that's the excuse they give, but the reason they do that is to basically dehumanise you, And that, along with, making all this shit up about me, a lot of people say that that's corrupt behaviour. It's not. There's no such thing as corruption within a monetary system itself, because the system itself is a corruption. Okay, not the most palatable idea for a pub audience. I understand that. I know where I am. But yeah, I mean, it's just what keeps the system going, and that's the thing. I mean, we've got these wonderful innovations, such as YouTube, for example, where I put all my videos up. If any of you are interested in finding out, all the details of the 8 encounters that I've had with the police, one of them being the arrest, just type in Maidstone Police Fail into YouTube, and you'll get a hoot. But YouTube is a really, really interesting thing, and it's such a huge leap forward in our communicative abilities, We have the ability to, any schmuck with a camera phone can record themselves, slap it up online for the entire planet to see. How else, besides the internet, are you able to do that? Well, you can't, really. Well, that is unless maybe you're a Vogon in stationary orbit. No Hitchhiker's Guide fans in? No? I bet some of you thought that was before my time, didn't you? Yeah, you're right, it is before my time. But no, I mean, here's the thing though that gets me about YouTube is that we can use it for such wonderful things where we can actually broadcast a collective message of love, peace and compassion. But what do we use it for? Oppa Gangnam Style! No, sorry. That's not how you use YouTube, okay? That's shit. That's not art, okay? You know? But I guess in a sense, you know, YouTube is actually replacing a lot of mainstream television programming, you know? I say good. Good riddance. Let it go, man. Seriously, have you seen some of the shit on TV these days? Seriously, I mean, X Factor, The Voice, Britain's Got Talent, I'm a has-been celebrity, so get me back in the jungle so I can jumpstart my doomed career again. Seriously, that shit needs to go, you know? Really needs to go. I mean, does anyone remember when the X Factor used to bring on the worst auditionees for a live ensemble performance during the live final? Does anyone remember that? I certainly do, because that was the very last time I actually watched that piece of shit. You know, because I saw it as exploitation. I really did. But a lot of people, like, they disagreed with me. They said, no, they choose to be on it. It's not exploitation. I say, well, I'll tell you what. What would actually be exploitation is what ITV would actually acknowledge that as exploitation is maybe if on Britain's Got Talent they had an acrobatic troupe of people with cerebral palsy. That would be exploitation. That would be blatant. But as long as it's something that's a culturally induced delusion, then it's all right to exploit them. You know, why? No, it's not all right to exploit them. They've been deluded by culture to think that maybe they're going to be the next Britney Spears or Will Young. You know, I mean, I dare say ITV actually recognises this, and that's probably why they stopped. Because eventually we might hear of Simon Cowell being garroted to death with a mic cable by some failed contestant who was so pissed off that they just didn't get sent through. You know, like, you know, maybe some gross reenactment of that scene in Phantom of the Opera where the kid turns on Ringmaster. You know, that would maybe teach us that art is about integrity, about talent, and about hard work. None of this manufactured shit. You know? Maybe the solution to this lies in the hands of Simon Cowell. You know, maybe he actually has the power to change this. Maybe he could actually use his millions to actually do something productive for society, like, I don't know, feed the 1.02 billion people starving across this planet. Oh, that's right. There's no money in that, is there? But anyway, I'm out of time now, so I'm going to introduce the next comic, because I've only had 10 minutes up here. I'd like to introduce Johnny Katz.